Minthara is supposed to be in a cell. You have some explaining to do. The guard is happy to let you pass. Minthara is rather less happy about your choice of words.
Is merely delayed. We will return and kill them all.
But we've seen... what? 5 true souls sent for an audience?
And not a single one came back down from the tower top.
Enjoy the view. This feels like it'd stretch all the way to the Sea of Swords on a clear day. If this place ever gets a clear day.
Go on. Move! The quicker, the better.
The dark's strong enough to snuff out a torch. Well, I don't love that.
I last left Moonrise as a commander in the Absolute's army, obeying the voice of a god. I thought I had found a home and a purpose. Now I leave as an exile. But you risked your life to rescue me. For that, I am grateful.
The artifact connects with her, pulling your minds together and showing her all that you have seen. The prism, your dream visitor, the protection that keeps you from obeying the Absolute and becoming a Lithid. She knows it all in a moment. Her mind reels, but is no longer clouded. She accepts the truth. She has no choice.
There is much we must discuss. Do you have a safe place to camp nearby? Goodbye for now. It does not compare with the comforts of home, but your camp is almost palatial in comparison to my previous accommodation. Thank you for allowing me to come here, and for bringing me back to myself. Each memory that returns to me is more disturbing than the last. The things that I did in the name of the Absolute. The things that were done to me. They broke my mind. Strength will not save us from an enemy that can dominate our will. While our tadpoles live, and the cult have the means to control them, we will never be safe. We must eradicate them. Starting with General Thorm. I mean Ketheric. My deference to him is a habit that will die hard, I fear. It is the safest place to be. Swear that you will keep me close. Until the Absolute is dead, at least. Thank you. I knew you were different to other true souls when we lay together. Now I know it was the prism that silenced the Absolute in those moments, not you. But it was not the prism that held me and touched my mind and body. That was you. For now, we will travel together and fight together. In time, perhaps we will lie together again. Kind words do not always come easily to me.
Her entire being joins with you for a moment, and you see all that she is. Dangerous, cunning, wounded, brutal, paranoid, and utterly loyal to those she trusts. And you have earned that trust, along with a small measure of her affection. It is a rare thing, well hidden in the cold fortress of her mind. And it is precious.
Together, we can have our vengeance on those who infected us. Rest well, and keep your wits about you. Tomorrow, we go to war with the cult of the Absolute.
The Dark Lady shields me. I can feel her.
The Drow is unpredictable, uncompromising. I respect her almost as much as I distrust her.
It doesn't seem long ago that Minthara would have sought to kill us, and now we've welcomed her along. We're nothing if not magnanimous.
Minthara is something of a closed book, but I suspect a heart of gold lurks beneath that stern countenance. Once she gets to know me, I'm sure she'll open up. She's just waiting for someone ready to listen.
So you found the seat of the Absolute's power. And what a power it is. I trust you've come to your senses. We have to work together, or the Absolute will enthrall us both. I cannot keep this up indefinitely. Ketheric Thorm is clearly important, but I wonder if there's more to it than that. doesn't stop. We are being bombarded by waves of telepathic energy. Wave after wave with hardly a breath between them. I almost dare not rest. Each wave a set of orders to the infected. The order for your transformation has been given many times already. You're on the right track. It's in Moonrise Towers. But I don't know where exactly. I just hope my powers last long enough to see this through. In any case, the Absolute knows you carry me with you now. It wants to retrieve me. I stole it from Vlaakith. Her continued rule depends on it. As long as the Absolute exists, I am trapped within the prism. I can only control the power from here. We must make sure Vlaakith never gets her hands on the prism. Nor the Absolute. Unfortunately, they are both dedicating more and more resources to retrieving it. The task ahead is monumental. But you've proven you have the resolve to do what must be done. You've shown your loyalty to the Absolute. But to gain an audience with it, you must prove yourself to Ketheric Thorm. Now I must rest. And you must carry on. Do not let my efforts be in vain.
Heard that rat's nest of druids was burned to ash. Praise the Absolute.
I caught a glimpse of Ketheric and Sorel. Wouldn't have the gumption to stick my nose in, like you did, mind.
It's full of dripping goo, slime. Whatever it is, it's coming from higher up the tower. What?
A moment, true soul. You use a spoon to stir the soup, Barnabas. Forget the axe, my darling. Now, how can I help you? Soft and sweet as pudding, isn't he? He no longer remembers his life in the wild. That is the gift the Absolute gave me when I stood before her. To rewrite the lives of her faithful. Make them believe there's something better. Praise her works, committed by the hands of her faithful. Observe. Barnabas, sweetie. Come show what a good boy you are. What would you like him to do? The prayer, I think. Barnabas struggles with civilized speech, but he's been practicing.
You feel her will surge outwards and envelop the creature, inexorable as the tide.
Soul.
No, Barnabas! We talked about this.
They battle silently for a long moment, the Gnoll's heart drumming with strain. Then all at once, his heart stops.
Oh, Barnabas. I'm so sorry, me darling. He isn't the first to die. Her love is simply too much for some. I hope you will fare better when your time comes. You ascend the tower as a true soul, and return as something more. If you return at all. Don't waste it.
I applaud your taste.
These are the stalking grounds of Steelclaw. Furless. Fortunately for you, the slithering vermin I hunt has my attention. For now. Their name matters not, merely their demise. I braved lapping waters and leaking ships to find this prey. I butchered many, and will butcher many more. But this one I toy with. I slice, I tear, and when the time is right, I will bite its head off and bathe in its innards! Lies, it merely pretends. But I'm a patient hunter. I will wait for it to stir, and then I will strike. Now I must return to my prey. It has been too long since it felt the bite of fear.
Trust no one.
It was an honor to walk the shadows at your side. A little more inviting here, though, eh?
curse cannot be allowed. General Thorm's prayers and preparations must not be disturbed. The rooftop is off limits to everyone.
Even you, Disciples Row?
Everyone. Keep watch and ensure that nobody passes. Excellent timing, true soul. The goblins. Tell me how they suffered. No. Better yet, show me.
Her mind enters yours abruptly, flickering across your memories in a blaze of excitement. Tongues of psychic flame lap at the memory of the goblins dying by your hand.
I see you like to handle underlings physically. So do I. For a while, but I get bored of people awfully quickly. Let's see if you can hold my interest.
She parts the folds of your mind again, touching your wants and hopes, tasting them. Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration. She is searching for proof of your faith. There is a tremor of shared ecstasy as she finds a mirror to her own desire.
Perfect. You crave what all true souls should, to be touched by the Absolute. I have already been blessed to stand in her presence. It was bliss. She gave me everything I wanted. Why not? What's the point in power if you don't get to have a little fun every now and again? She gave me the power to cut the thread of life with a thought. But I can caress as well as cut. That's why you should stay on my good side. And the best way to do that is to serve General Thorm. I have a mission for you.
That's it. Play along. The closer you can get to the General, the closer you'll be to the answers you seek.
You feel her presence in your head again. She grips your mind, squeezing until your vision blurs with pain.
The General is the Absolute's chosen. Serving him is a great privilege, one that I'm beginning to doubt you deserve.
She's offering a way forward. You would be wise to play along.
There is a relic that General Thorm requires. He sent his most trusted advisor, Disciple Balthazar, to retrieve it. The relic is beneath the Thorm family mausoleum. That is where you will find Balthazar. But we have lost contact with him. Go there, aid Balthazar if you can, and bring the relic home. And I accompanied him. It was destroyed shortly after he left Moonrise. Hardly a surprise. We're protected here, but outside the shadows are hungry. The shadows around the mausoleum are deep and hungry. You'll need a moon lantern to survive them. Take one from Balthazar's chambers. But don't pry. The last person who snooped into his secrets lost their head. I believe he uses it as a chamber pot. doesn't stink like an overstuffed? So why are you here instead of out there looking for him?
Disc appears in your mind's eye. Lae'zel sees it too, and considers the vision.
Quite similar to the boy's slate from the creche. It's a story about Orpheus.
Your head buzzes in concert with Lae'zel's, but it hardly matters. Even without the connection, you'd recognize her discomfort.
Githyanki writing. Every word of the most powerful texts are engraved in slate. Some so ancient, only the most erudite Gish can read. This text is heresy. I can hardly bear to read it, let alone speak it. Very well. The Prince of the Comet, Part 3. The histories tell us that Commander Voss, Gestil Kithrak, pierced Prince Orpheus clean through with his sword of silver, that his flesh was torn and fed to the great red dragon Ephelaman. Vlaakith's faithful roar out this tale, but beneath the roars, we hear whispers carrying truth and prophecy. The Prince of the Comet is not dead. The Prince of the Comet will come again. The Prince of the Comet will liberate us from Vlaakith's tyranny. Praise be to Mother Gith, Queen of the One Sky. Praise be to your son, Orpheus, the true heir, Prince of the Comet. This is more than a fable. It's an affront to the undying Queen Vlaakith. Gith's son died to Voss's blade. Orpheus is no more. You speak like Kithrak Voss. You accuse Vlaakith of the unthinkable. As unthinkable as the greatest living knight turning on his queen. Well, enough conjecture. I did what you asked, so let...
Your mind connects with
another part of the Orpheus tale. This one... Fine. The Prince of the Comet, Part 2. The Prince of the Comet, Orpheus himself, led his honor guard into battle. Their red dragons bellowed with righteous anger, and the heavens erupted. The glorious prince cried to all who could hear him, "Praise be to my mother Gith, the Queen of the One Sky, sacrificed to the Hells by the renegade Vlaakith." But the true heir, the Prince of the Comet, could not overcome Vlaakith's knights and their ill-gotten worms. Mighty Voss, Gestil Kithrak, lit the astral sky aflame. When the ash had cleared, beloved Orpheus was gone. True heir, glorious prince, there's no greater crime. Eager for battle.
What now?
one with the weave.
Wits and blades, always sharp.
Indolence breeds madness.
That's curious.
Stripped of flesh, the warhound is formidable. Spectral eyes meet yours as it growls a challenge. The hound relaxes, clearly accustomed to this show of deference within its master's chamber. It turns away and utterly ignores you, as it would any lowly foot soldier.
What's that? That's almost beautiful. Imagine what she'd think if she saw him now.
Quite ready for you. Salutations. Ripe with magic.
Assume nothing.
Well, hello.
smoky, unblinking eyes fix upon you. Warily, it watches you approach. There's no flesh or fur to scratch at, only bone and cold metal. But it seems the touch is enough, and for a moment the undead beast is just another dog, happily wagging its tail.
Oh, I have the magic touch.
Look who's
Yes, soldier. You'd be the first of the General's soldiers brave enough to try. All right, that's enough.
A little souvenir. Oh, for a skeleton key.
dear Thorm, loving mother, beloved wife. Her light will never be forgotten.
I never cared for spyglasses. Watching things from afar is hardly fun. Something over there.
With pleasure. necromancer was experimenting on the tadpoles. But they were already imbued with Netherese magic. So where did that magic come from?
A goblet filled with the mutilated corpses of illithid parasites. Whatever ungodly experiments were performed on them likely killed them. Into the bench's rotted surface are strange, half-faded sigils. A magic circle of some kind, thick with darkness and decay.
A ritual circle. And a complex one at that. I've seen such a construction before in the writings of the Weave Pasha Raven, though his vision was not so tainted. I'd advise against it, in your case, at least. No disrespect intended, but this is not your typical magic. It's been mostly drained, but even now contains a powerful dose of shadow weave. The discarded pixie corpses might still contain enough essence. With one of the broken lantern casements... Yes, I think I'll be able to craft one more lantern, and with a slight modification of the casting gesture, it might be able to wield the shadows instead of repelling them. Though, Mistra's eyes may be upon me. She'd forbid me dabbling with such magic.
Forget what Mistra wants. Think about yourself, and what Lady Shah's power could do for you, Gale. Make the lantern. Spread her will.
Very well. Stand back, if you please.
It doesn't take much. The sigils fade, the circle's tainted magic dissolving harmlessly into the ether.
Not bad for a wizard who slept through his Kalashite lessons, eh? Did you feel that? If I wasn't surrounded on all sides by the darkness of the Shadow Curse lands, I'd think it was Mistra herself brushing against my skin. The curse that afflicts the land appears to be a manifestation of an incredible amount of dark magic. The sort manifested through the Shadow Weave, and is an altogether different form of magic, drawn from the negative spaces left in the Weave's wake. I'm surprised she would risk making contact here, however briefly. She's left some tiny part of herself to watch over me, I think. A boon to help us reach the heart of the Absolute in one piece. detonate the orb, you mean? Might be onto something there. Though Mistra's intelligent enough not to resort to such overt manipulation. Perhaps I'm overthinking things. Ready and willing. No rest for the wicked, I see.
Ritho's power. Mystra forbids the use of such magic. She would insist the sigils be destroyed, the circles eat.
Watch your back.
If Mystra were here, I don't think she'd be best pleased with me for doing that. She was always rather fond of pixies. Still, I'm sensing no signs of any divine retribution incoming. Not quite sure what to make of that. A valid and most astutely observed point. So long as I have her mission ahead of me, I suspect she'll not want to distract me with any undue moralizing. It may not be the most savory kind of magic, but it will taste sweet enough if it brings us to the heart of the Absolute in one piece. Quite the pair of legs you've got on you to make that kind of leap. No, Mystra wouldn't have issued an order like that if she was content for it to be ignored. She meant it. Perhaps so much so that she's willing to overlook transgressions like this. Now come. Best keep moving. Charmed, I'm sure.